will be one of the key themes at this year's World Economic Forum that's kicking off in Davos on the 15th of January. Mining industry leaders drill into those issues at the Investing in African Mining Indaba that will be held in Cape Town in the first week of February. Ntokozo Khumalo caught up with the Central Energy Funds Group chairperson, Ayanda Noah, to discuss ways to solve the country's energy trilemma: affordability, security and reducing carbon emissions, while diversifying the country's energy mix. The conversation started with Ntokozo getting insights into the fund's role in securing the country's energy future. Take a look.
Well, Central Energy Fund is a state-owned company. It reports into the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy. It is a Schedule 2 company in terms of the Public Finance Management Act. And what that really means is that we have to earn a living. We don't get any funding from the government. We don't get any contribution at all financially. And therefore, we have to work for our keep. And secondly, what is important around our mandate is that we are responsible for supporting government in the state security of energy supply. And therefore, that means that we have to look for opportunities that are really going to enable us to do that. We are mandated to really look at the commercial side of the business and also look at the developmental side of the business in terms of our mandate. And it's really important that people really understand that we really cut across the whole value chain in terms of where we operate. So we are in oil and gas, we are in the electricity as well, we are in renewables. So we really cut around the whole spectrum. If I look at how we actually deliver our mandate, we've got 5 subsidiary companies that we use to do that. So the first one, if I can just go through them alphabetically. So the first one is African Exploration Mining and Finance Company, and we call them AEMFC. Their role really is they are the mining leg of the CEF group of companies. So currently they supply Eskom with coal. We supply 1.5 million tons per annum to Eskom, and we really have an opportunity or potential to grow that as well. We also are looking at diversification in terms of really going into other critical minerals that are really going to be very, very important for the transition that we are all looking at globally. Coming to the second one, we've got iGas, which is really there for development of gas and gas infrastructure. Currently, we are in partnership with the Mozambique ENH, where we own 80% of the shareholding of the Romco company, which has 865-kilometer pipeline that comes from Mozambique right down to Secunda in South Africa, and it brings gas, which we buy from Mozambique. So it's really another very critical and important company that is in our CEF group of companies. Coming to the third one, we've got the PASA, which is the Petroleum Agency of South Africa. They are really responsible for promoting and also licensing companies that are in the activities of exploration and production. And it really is an important one because we also are able to get through them data in terms of where our resources are in the country or around the continent. And then we have Petro SA, which is really our refining company. So they really operate across the value chain of the E&P or exploration and production environment. So we've got a platform on the about 80 kilometers out in the sea, which is where we actually extract the gas. The gas is taken to the refinery so that it can be refined into different products, your petroleum, your paraffin, your diesel, which we then on-sell. And of course, there are other byproducts that you get out of there. And then last but not least is Strategic Fuel Fund. That's a very important company as well in the stable. They are responsible for ensuring that we've got infrastructure for keeping and storing our products, be it crude oil, be it finished products. We have infrastructure which they acquire for us so that we are able to, to keep our products in those tanks. And then, of course, they keep strategic stock for the country. So that is really our mandate as a company, to ensure that we have security of energy supply in the country so that we can power everybody in the country and keep the economy running.
Yeah, and you know, that really touches so that aging infrastructure really being a huge bottleneck, and I think it's across the continent that's really a huge problem. And you touch into the fuel issue on those imports and so on, and at Oil Week you did warn that we could face a fuel crisis, which is really a crisis South Africans can't afford. We've already seen fuel prices continue to skyrocket. From CSF's point of view, how soon could we be experiencing this crisis, but is there a way to avoid the crisis from taking place?
You know, it's actually very difficult to say how soon. You know, it's like saying, you know, in a family when mom is not able to, you know, buy food, but somehow every day you eat. You don't really know where mother gets the food from. So it is a very similar situation in the sense that there are still opportunities for us to import. But again, you know, when we import, we are exposed to geopolitical tensions that we currently see. We are exposed to inability to really buy from countries that we could buy from, which could provide us with.
Are those some of those countries
on
the continent?
Yes, Russia is one of the countries that you know, currently would be you know, is a challenge to buy from. So because of those uncontrollables, those variables, it actually does become very difficult. And I think that the priority really should be to look at the resources that we have as a country, and then also to say how can we partner with other countries like Namibia. Namibia has just recently had a very big find, 11 billion barrels of oil. You know, that really gives for an opportunity for us to really look at those partnerships. And there are many other countries on the continent that have really got, you know, discoveries. We've got Angola, who's got, you know, a lot of oil. Just yesterday I learned that they are also looking at building some refineries. So there are many countries on the continent that we can partner with, because Africa is rich when it comes to, you know, petroleum resources. We've got plenty. We've got a lot of gas. South Africa on its own, onshore, we've got about 200 TCF of gas that has been identified. Offshore, we've got about 60 TCF of gas that has been identified. So we really have opportunities that can really help us in terms of fuel, transportation fuel, and also look at gas to power as an opportunity, so that we can also deal with the generation constraints that we currently have. So we really have a number of resources that we can leverage.
To wrap the conversation, Energy Week was really about unlocking opportunities as South Africa diversifies and finds that right energy mix. Localization is also quite important on bringing in new players into the space, into the industry. Talk us through then how, in its different entities, the Central Energy Fund is just strategizing around making sure that we do localize the industry, get more South African players in there, particularly black emerging companies into the industry as well.
Well, that is actually very, very important for our company. In fact, right now we've got a 67 billion pipeline of projects that we are involved in. We have a 25% stake in Aqua Redstone, which is currently building a 100 megawatt concentrated solar plant up in Northern Cape. There is an opportunity for localization. We have an opportunity there to make sure that local people on the ground are actually employed, and they get an opportunity to make a living, to also earn an income, so that they can put food on the table. That is one of the projects. Another project which is really key is the Romco one, which I've already spoken about, which really is very, very critical to bring gas from Mozambique down to Secunda in South Africa. And again, there are 3 power stations which are about 50 kilometers away from the pipeline, which can be powered by the gas that is in that pipeline. So we can do gas to power. We are looking at resuscitating Petro SA refinery at this stage. Currently it's offline, but we are going to bring it back online in another 2 years or thereabouts, we are looking at partnerships currently to make sure that we are able to invest and bring it back online so that we can bring back the refineries that are currently not working. Maybe another one that I can mention is our LNG opportunity that we are looking at in the Gqeberha port. So there are many projects in this 67 billion pipeline that we have that we are looking at, and there are going to be opportunities for localization. There are going to be opportunities for other companies to partner with us so that we are able to keep the South Africans within the economy active and also to create jobs for them so that we can have people that are driving the economy and keeping the economy alive. So there's really quite a lot that we are doing currently as a Central Energy Fund.
And we absolutely look forward to getting insights and experiencing some of those projects. But thank you so much for making time for us. And of course, that is the chairperson at the Central Energy Fund, that is Ayanda Noah, talking us through just the role and the work that it is doing with its entities to secure South Africa's energy and ensure that projects are taking place, that bottlenecks are removed, and where we did see some issues such as Petro say that they are ironed out so that we can have energy security in the country. For Newzroom Afrika on channel 405, I'm Ntokozo Khumalo in Cape Town.